right, hey everybody, welcome back to the Deep Weeb podcast. This is the first time we've ever had a live OffKai from Japan with this many people. I never really expected to do this with the podcast, but I'm super grateful that all these fellow weebs have shown up to help out with this episode. We've got a handful of questions that we wanted to run through, community questions, as well as a couple of questions posed to each other. This is at Chris Broad's bar, Lost, the VIP room in Shibuya, Japan. So a big first for the podcast, and super grateful to the staff here for helping us out with that as well. So without further ado, I'm KanjiEater, and I think you guys probably already know me, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it around to these guys. We're going to do quick introductions, and then just jump into some questions. So, Mally, first time on the podcast. Welcome, man.
First time for me. My name's Maddie. I'm MobileMally on all socials. I've been living in Japan for 1 year and 8 months. I work at a Japanese company, and I've been studying Japanese for a very long time, and I've got nothing to show.
Great. Go ahead.
I wasn't ready for this. I am. So I'm Aaron, or hypotheticaltiger. Ex-speedrunner, used to live in Pennsylvania. Now I'm living in Tokyo, just reading manga and spreading the gospel of domestic girlfriend.
Go ahead, Anton.
Okay, I'm Anton, or IO. I've been living in Japan for 8-9 years. Originally from Europe. I made Tadoku, so I've been learning Japanese. Maybe you've heard of it. Learning Japanese for, I don't know, 15 plus years. I don't know.
Jeez. And first time on the show, so
yes.
Thanks for coming. Also, he participates in our Discord Otaku Club on the Deep Weeb Lounge a lot, so appreciate that too.
Every 5 months.
Every 5 months, yeah. But you also made the leaderboard, so we appreciate that. Go ahead.
I'm Doth, original OG speedrunner, rocket scientist turned corporate slave. If you know me, you know me. If you don't, hold it. How'd you be on the show?
Thanks, man.
All right, this is Katakana. I'm KanjiEater's wife. We're here on vacation. I'm a casual learner. I listen to Japanese metal, and I'll sometimes read Japanese manga, and I watch Japanese shows with KanjiEater all the time. So
All the time, every day.
yes.
I'm Darius, second time on the podcast here. It's an honor. And I've been living in Japan for a little over 2 years, but studying Japanese for much, much longer than that, almost 15 years now. Participate in very many Japanese learning communities and love to talk about the topic.
I'm Lucid. I'm from California. Been learning Japanese maybe 5-6 years, something like that now, and I'm forever Dekinai.
And recently the mod for the Deep Weeb Lounge Discord server. So that's now his claim to fame. So thank you for that. Yes. Yeah. For the Discord mod. All right, so let's go ahead and kick off with the first question. So what's the best thing that anybody has read recently? And recently, I mean, depending on when you did, it's a broad term. So something great that you've read in the last year at least that comes to mind that you enjoyed. So can we keep going around clockwise? Go ahead, Mally. Start us off.
Something I read is actually a video game. So I was playing this game called Another Code on the Switch. It's a mystery game about someone whose parents passed away, and they go to an island to find out more about their parents' death. And it's quite abandoned. It's quite cool, quite accessible, not so difficult. Definitely recommend it.
Nice.
So mine's a manga. It's called Smiley. It's about a guy, his wife becomes a cult member, his daughter dies, some things go bad, so his life goes bad, and then he infiltrates the cult to figure out what happened. It's really good. It's about to finish at the start of this year, so everyone should read it. It's only like 11 volumes.
Yeah, for me, it's a light novel. It's a isekai one. Mizu Tokusei no Mahou-tsukai. It's a very classical one with magic and monsters that need to be defeated. And
Sold.
Very
Is
descriptive.
that sword?
yes. At this point, all these novels start to blend together. So I'm like,
Yes.
so which one is which one again? So, yeah.
Nice. For me, it's actually something I talked with Kanji before. It's a Bokuyaba. It's a romance, high school, pretty generic, but I thought it's a really good one just because it feels very close to heart for me. So I won't speak about it, but you should try read it.
Mine's Inside Mari by my favorite mangaka, Oshimi Shuzo. I just really like
Sus.
Yeah, slightly sus, not too sus. About a guy living inside a girl's body and just him navigating that, just like that.
One of my favorite manga artists as well. By the way.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. So mine is I've been reading Crusher Joe series recently. I don't know if it was translated into English. I think it may have been, but it's a Japanese SF, like pulp SF series. I think from the late 80s or early 90s is when it started. It's about a group of like space mercenaries led by this guy called Joe, who they go around to different planets and do all these random jobs and get caught up in all these interesting situations. So it's a recommendation if you like not light novel stuff and like more like SF, then I highly recommend it.
I'm gonna do a shill from the Deep Weeb Discord.
Join today.
Shoujo. Yeah. Really good manga, I thought. It's dark. It's I wouldn't say very otaku-like, unfortunately for a lot of you, but it was really good and quite serious, which was enjoyable for me.
It's
different than a lot of stuff.
That was a good one. That's what we started the club with this year, and I enjoyed that one as well. I'll probably also go with a club pick. So this year I read Homunculus finally, and it lived up to the hype. My wife pushed it on me, which once you've read it, it's like, man, that's kind of weird, but all right. It's pretty good. So it definitely lived up to the hype. So I appreciated some people pushing that one on me. So moving on to the next question. So this one came from Lucid. So I think we all kind of look forward to this question because this is a really good question. So, all right, if you could force everyone to complete one piece of content, it doesn't have to be good, what would it be and why? All right.
Oh, you pushed on me.
No, we can come back to you.
I already got my answers. So.
Yeah. Tiger, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. The domestic girlfriend.
And answer.
If you never heard about it, dude loses his virginity. That girl happens to be the younger sister of his teacher that he also finds really hot. And then turns out they become his sisters through marriage. And it's a love story between those three. And, other people come in and out. It's a piece of shit, okay? But if you get into it, the characters are really fleshed out. It's a good story. You might cry a little bit. You're going to laugh a lot. You're going to be like, ooh, should I be liking this? And then you like it anyway. Everyone should read it. It's great. That's all I can say.
Fantastic plug.
It's perfect.
Yes.
Go ahead, Tom.
For me, it's a Kenka Shobai. Probably nobody has heard of it.
Oh.
It's a martial arts manga, but it's crazy. Like the main character is just nuts. It's full of references to a bunch of Japanese culture. I guess like 10, 20 years ago though. But it's very questionable. You will regret reading it, but it's a great experience. And it's not really translated in English either, so
Always a plus for us Japanese learners.
yeah.
I was about to shill following hypothetical tiger on the island, but this time it's a bit different.
Okay.
Curiously, there's this light novel. I think it's actually really good for both new readers and avid readers, both alike, because it's very simple, but it has a lot of deep meaning to it, I feel. It's from Sumino Yoru, the writer. The same person who made I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, if some of you know about that. Light novel, there's a movie for that, but this is a different one. It's called また同じ夢を見ていた. Saw the same dream, something. What's really interesting about it is from a perspective of like a small child, a little girl, who's going through elementary school. And she's facing a lot of difficulty in terms of like social relations, speaking with people. And a lot of it has a lot of like dark themes, undertones to it, which as a new reader, you don't really get on, but it's so easy to read that you kind of understand enough. And then as somebody who has read more, you go back to it and it does feel quite heavy in a sense. And you kind of see different layers to the story, which is what I think. And also Sumino just have a lot of really good works. So yeah, if you haven't read it, try to read it. If you're new to Japanese, try it as a first light novel. I think it can definitely be a good one.
Nice. I read that early on.
Me and it's got time traveling in it, and it's got a lot of like, coming of age stuff. Also, I'm really big into like emotional anime, manga, so I recommend that one.
Cool.
So last time I was on the podcast, I think I recommended Ghost in the Shell,
Mm.
which I still recommend. But to add something new, maybe something that's less well known, I recommend an anime called Kaiba. Has anyone seen it by any chance?
Heard about it.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. So it's not that very well known. It's a masterpiece. It's I think from like mid 2000s. It's also sci-fi, and it's about this guy who like sort of loses his memory and then like goes on a sort of like journey to like regain the memory and ends up in like a lot of different bodies and yeah it's very interesting, very emotional and like touching. There's big parts of it which have like no dialogue, so if you're not into that, don't watch it, but it's like a sort of artistic really touching piece, so I recommend that.
Sounds cool.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
First.
go with the classic sports anime, Hikaru no Go.
Oh, you shook it up. Okay.
Shook it
Okay.
up. Well, that's probably my favorite sports anime. It's about a kid who basically is not interested at all in Go, but through various means gets into Go and becomes really good at the game. And it's quite long. It's beginner friendly. It's classic. Gotta watch it.
Are we counting board games as sports these days?
I count them. They have the same
Fair.
feeling.
That's fair. That's fair. Mally, you got one for us?
Back to me, like, I don't know. I probably need a bit more time to think about it. But if I was to say something off the bat, I'll just say new game. Everybody
Game.
knows new
Oh,
game, right?
Mm.
So just all about this person who just graduated school, and then they just go into their first company and they just navigating all the hardships that come with it. Definitely recommend it. It's beginner friendly, good for everybody, and really nice opening song.
Cute
All
girls.
right.
Yeah,
Cute girls.
Japan Code recommended it. I started watching it with her, and she's like, "Too cute. We gotta turn it on." So yeah, I only made it through like the first episode. Sorry, dude. But now we're going to be forced to watch it
Yeah,
because that was
sounds good.
okay.
I'll watch it. Yeah.
Convincing.
Mm.
To read it, but still haven't. Tsukihime is really, really top tier VN, and you haven't actually read one, Anton, so you would actually like this one quite a bit. So it's Switch, PS4, and I think it recently came to PC. It's in the Fate verse, so it's by Nasu. It's as far as like action goes, like a lot of time VNs they kind of get boring, dragged out, too many routes that end up being like really repetitive. And Tsukihime basically has completely separate stories for each of the different characters that you choose to go and learn more about. And then there are massive, huge fight scenes that are actually really well animated. Like for a VN, it's a lot of animation, and that's what I like. So definitely would recommend that one. It's relatively recent. There's a second part that's coming out that people are like, "Oh, I'll just play it when the second part comes out." Guys, it's already like 60 hours, and it's good standalone. So just get on board. Stop making excuses. The excuses are cope. Read Tsukihime today. All right. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and move on to the next question. So this was from Ham Sam on the Moe Way, who asked, so he just kind of wanted to get a general life update from everybody. So at least the returning people, we have a life update. But if you haven't been on the show before, maybe just talk about one major accomplishment over like, this is Doth's question as well. So since 2024, that has happened to you in the last year that you'd like to share with the group in the audience. So go ahead, Mally. You got anything for us on that one?
Okay, so I moved to Japan with work and holiday visa, and I wanted to stay here. So with my part-time job, luckily I was able to be sponsored by them. But the sponsoring process, before even getting sponsored, I had to complete a number of tests, role play tests, and all the material was in Japanese. And I had to memorize a lot and try and repeat it. And I managed to get through everything, get my visa, and now I'm still in Japan. So it's been 1 year and 8 months since coming back, and just enjoying life here, man.
Sounds good. Yeah.
In a couple months that I've been on the podcast, so nothing really has changed. But I guess the big thing, I moved out of my share house into an apartment. Also in 2024, well, I moved to Japan, so that was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I 100%ed the Persona series on PlayStation, so I'm done with all those games.
Nice.
Wow.
Probably like, I think it took me, I think my final game time was like 916 hours.
Wow.
So that was a fun time.
Does that include the what P3P, the new
Yeah.
one? It's not P,
Reload, and I did
reload.
portable too. Yeah. And I did SMT3.
Excuse me?
I haven't done 5 yet, or Metaphor, but I'm getting it.
Oh my gosh.
So
Go ahead, Anton.
Okay. I think for me, it was having a baby here in Japan a couple of weeks ago and navigating the whole
First one.
system in Japanese.
Congratulations.
And
Congrats, man.
everything went fine, so I think that's going to be my biggest update.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Wait, did you get the 1 mil? Did you not get free money?
Yes, but it's not, it still costs money.
Okay.
You get a lot of money, but it costs more than that.
Oh. It's been a while now, I think, for me.
Yeah, it has.
I got my first job, finally using Japanese for something useful, making good money, I think. Yeah, all good. I got a girlfriend. That's
Yeah.
one.
Let's go! Now, last time, I don't know, Doth, before you had waifus, so is this a downgrade or an upgrade? Like,
I would say it's an upgrade.
okay,
She's
okay.
real.
She's real. You confirmed.
I
You showed me a
confirmed.
Well, you showed me a picture. It might have been a hostage.
You have my lie.
but
You have
yeah.
my
Might have
lie.
been a
Yeah.
hostage.
He has some pretty good though.
Hey, it's. I don't know if you'd say it's a downgrade, because also it's to be wife, so.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Very nice, dude. Congratulations.
We finishing our house. We worked really hard on putting that together and really just enjoying it to the fullest. So
So if you saw the last 6-hour episode, 2-part of the Deep Weeb podcast, where I refused to summarize anything and went into excruciating detail on everything so I could document it, you want to know what it's like fixing up an abandoned house that was squirrel infested, that'd be the video for you. But anyways, so yeah, we've been working on that really hard the last.
a lot of teamwork, a
Year and a
lot of he could do this project, I can do this project. Really just working as a team and really just building towards something. So it was great.
It's a good immersion opportunity for a lot of audiobooks too. This was the year that I'll just jump in. Like that was the year that I finally started like listening to a lot of audiobooks. That was really fun. And DIY projects are a good way to do that because I'm basically like making money at the same time that I'm doing it. You know, in the back of my head, that's what I'm thinking. Because eventually, probably will sell our house at some point, and it'll be worth more. So something to look forward to. So that's cool. Go ahead, Darius.
So my life is very stable. So there hasn't been any massive shocking updates. Continuing to invest in my job and, climb the corporate ladder. That's going well. Though I guess one thing of personal note to myself is that I finally made a solid gym schedule, which I've been executing very well over the past couple months. And
Okay.
so, my goal is to keep that going for a while now. So.
Nice. That was like the first 2 episodes we made on the podcast were the importance of sleep and the importance of taking a break, weebs, and getting some exercise. So I know like Pat on the Discord has been also finally taking the exercise pill, and he's been like shedding pounds like crazy as he's reading manga. So it's pretty wild.
Don't limit your gains only to Japanese.
Exactly. Yes, I would definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Well said.
Well said.
I'll keep mine Japanese related. So it's a high and a low. I had an offer at a Japanese game company this year that I got, but I turned it down, unfortunately.
Dang.
So I'm staying in California, boy, for the time being.
So your highlight is telling somebody no.
Yeah.
Ballsy. Okay. Cool. And yeah, I would just agree with what my wife said. So we fixed up a mold squirrel infested mansion, and it's working out pretty well. And now we have a lake house with a bunch of other problems, but it's cool. And I don't know that I'd do it again. I've kind of talked about this. I don't know I'd do it again, but it's nice that it's done now, and I have some time to go back to Japanese and actually get some reading in because I love to read. So. Okay, next question came from Pat Chat GC, previously the Japan code. He asked, since most people have lived or have lived in Japan, what's one favorite part of living in Japan that you didn't expect, whether a big thing or a small thing? And then also, what's something that's like your least favorite part or most frustrating part of living in Japan? So favorite thing that you didn't expect, and also a least favorite thing. You got anything for us on that one, Mally?
I got something. So
Okay.
my favorite thing that I didn't expect is that I'm really tall and I'm really tall anywhere in the world because I'm 6'9", around 207.
Yeah.
So
Makes me feel short. I'm
Right?
6'2", and
You're
like,
6'2"?
yeah,
Oh
you're
my God.
even taller than me, dude.
So like anywhere I go, right? I thought Japanese people were just quite shy. They didn't really like to talk to people, but for some reason they'll talk to me anywhere. Whether it was the shop, the hospital, or not the hospital, dentist, shall I say. Literally any way you can think of, they'll speak to me, and then having those kind of wholesome interactions, talking about my journey and everything, and getting praise for that is very nice, very rewarding. But the least favorite part of Japan, that's tricky. I think it'll be you guys expected it, the work culture, right?
Mm.
They can be very strict about things, and a lot of people who work in Japan, it's like the minimum is to be hardworking. And if you're not hardworking, then that's already a bad thing. So it's not for everybody. And I'm generally a little bit more hardworking than the average in the UK. Even so, that is, a tiny bit so when it comes to work sometimes in Japan, right? They don't really like people who are too chill.
Does that so yeah, other people have worked in Japan? Does that match your guys' experience? You guys agree with that?
Kind of work in a bubble, so.
Yeah,
Right.
we're both in the tech industry, me and Io. So yeah, it's sort of a bubble. I mean, I think in general it holds true for sure. There's certain types of jobs which will, value, I don't know, some other attribute over just working hard, but definitely as a culture, I think working hard is very highly valued here. Yeah.
My boss loves to show that he's working hard by making me do things that I don't need to do.
All right, you want to go, Tiger? What you got for it?
Sure. I guess I'm new here. It's been less than a year since I've been here. So still, if I like go outside and I like go to a shrine or something, or just something like super Japanesey, like my brain goes, "Oh, I've made it." Like, I still like reflect on like time before here and then the time since I got here. So that's like a good part. Is just basically anytime I go outside, I can kind of be like, "Oh, I'm not in America." Smile and be happy about that. The worst part, I don't know. I tried thinking of an answer for this because there's always just random things that come up that I'm like, I'll talk to my girlfriend, I'm like, why do you have to do this? Like, this is so stupid. And she's like, yeah, I think it's stupid too. But like, we all do it. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay. So I don't have like a good example for that. But like, over the last couple weeks, there's just been like random times where I'm like, do we really have to do this? Like, you do this other thing this way. Why can't this be the same? She's like, it's just different. I'm like, put it all the same. There's just a bunch of like weird things that Japan does that they don't need to be that way.
Mm.
For me, one of the positives that I didn't expect was how easy it was to get a mortgage and buy a house here in Japan.
Really?
I expected to be a lot more trouble than I was, but like pretty efficient here. And then the negative downside that I didn't expect is like how expensive gyms are in Japan. They are expensive. Like I used to pay like 15 euros a month or something back home, and then here it's like at least like 8,000 yen, which is many multiples of that. So it's like here's more luxury.
Have you heard of Ring Fit? I mean, you just played the Twitch game, right? That's your home gym right there, dude.
I do actually have a home gym right now, but
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
no gym membership anymore.
Gotcha.
My answer is totally a third world perspective, so you guys probably won't relate, but drinkable tap water, it's huge here.
Oh no, I relate to that.
Oh,
Mexico.
Okay, great. Because like back home, we would always have to have like the water gallons, and you have to like buy like buckets of water and stuff. And coming here and it just flows, and that's like that's huge. Yeah. What I don't like is paperwork, red tape. You have to show everything. If everything could be digitalized soon.
I think that's a great answer about the water. It's just like you just take for granted just drinkable water, but so
Yeah.
that's a great answer. So my answer would be my favorite thing was like when we lived here, we were able to just like do stuff on the weekend, like when he would have off, and we would just go and do something like either anime related or manga related or just something. There was always something to do. And I feel like sometimes it's not always that way in the US. So we were just able to just go and enjoy ourselves and actually do something that we liked, really liked. So I enjoyed that. Least favorite thing about Japan, it's like there's a lot of rules. Like Tiger kind of went on that. It's just like a lot of specific rules, like laid out, and this how it has to be, and like there's no other way. It has to be this way. So just like ordering food, like you can't even like modify food. It's like this is how it comes.
Dealt with that last night. Too much mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's like this is how it comes. This is how it's gonna come. You can't change it. You can't modify it. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for myself, I mean, I feel like I came to Japan with my expectations fairly well tuned because it was so late into like studying Japanese, and learning about Japan. Though the one place I didn't have that good of an understanding of was like the work culture. And if anything, I feel like my expectations were set too low. So in that, like, it would be like terrible, like black, working long hours or whatever. Though I found, this is very limited to my personal experience, but at the place that I work, it's actually been good. There's been like no discrimination due to like being a foreigner. There's like lots of opportunities to take on more responsibility and do more work. So that's actually been like a very fun, unexpected part of living and working here for me. But yeah, big caveat that sort of like depends on many factors, including where you work. And the things that I don't like, just because it was on the top of my mind from talking about it a moment ago, the Yakiimo trucks and the trucks that are collecting like unused appliances that like drive around your house with like loudspeakers, like repeating the same message over and over again. That keeps me from like immersing in my like novels or whatever. That is the thing I dislike about
Same for the political bans.
yeah, and the political bans, yeah. Yes.
Well, I don't live here, so I have been here maybe a couple months total over the years. I'll give my favorite things anyway.
Sure.
My favorite thing probably is like the convenience of like entertainment and food. Like living in LA, my God, it's so bad. Like just like planning to go somewhere makes me not want to go. So like being able to take the train or whatever is like great here, and having access to good stuff pretty much everywhere is like not mirrored in the US at all, I think. And something I don't like is the crowds. I hate crowds. So like it's ridiculous here. Anywhere you go that is good is gonna be a lot of people.
You don't have that in LA also?
I wouldn't say so. Like the driving experience and whatnot is super crowded, but like if you go somewhere, it's not gonna be like crazy. Like if you go to a restaurant, it's gonna be fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So my thing is probably a little bit similar to my wife's. Go figure. So basically, when we lived in Japan for 6 months, we were just like going and doing whether it was like manga exhibits, which are still one of my favorite things. We've already done like a bunch of those this year. Going to a bunch of different exhibits, just general otaku events. Also, the Japanese metal music scene is still pretty cool, so we try to always go to as many shows as we can, which we do that in America, just not the Japanese ones, obviously. And so it was a good excuse to go out, and I don't have that as much in the States, quite honestly. So that's still something I really miss. As far as like things that are like weird or frustrating, I still think just like I'm dealing with this week of like how do I get rid of my broken suitcase that they broke on the airline, and it was like I can't just throw it away like it would in the States where there's just a giant dumpster at the hotel. So it's like the extremes that I have seen Japanese people go through for trash is just kind of crazy. Like one time at it was this big, I think it's called Hyakuman Rock. We went to this like gigantic metal music festival. It was more than just metal, but we saw like Maximum the Hormones, Sim, a couple of big bands, and they were after you would eat food, you would like throw it away, but they wouldn't let you throw it away yourself because they wanted to make sure that they actually sorted it all properly, to the point that they would take like the plastic tray that had like meat and stuff on it, and they'd make sure all like dump out, scrape all your plate, make sure all the fat from any like meat or anything was all in like one specific like type of garbage for that, separate all the different things and make sure it was all perfect because they don't want to get fined by who knows what government agency would be like on them for that. So anyways, like that sort of thing is just it's just a little bit different. I kind of agree with Darius. Like by the time I actually came over here, like there's not a lot of culture shock left probably, but that's still one of those things I was like, oh, that's a little bit weirder than I thought, I guess is what I would say. All right, so next question. So this one is actually from me, and yes, so for the question, did we answer questions from the Discord yet? We answered all of them from the Deep Weeb Lounge Discord server. We've got a couple here from the Moe as well. I can see what people are typing on YouTube chat, so if you do have questions, feel free to post them there. We do have about 30 minutes left, so we'll keep going from there. So if you have questions, not too late to get them in. As far as a question from me, So what role do you see Japan playing in your future? So this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. My wife and I, like I said, we just bought a house, but it's in the States. But I spend all of my time like learning Japanese, so it's kind of like always like trying to swim upstream, I feel like trying to emulate a Japanese environment when it would be way easier if I just, sucked it up, sold my house and came over here. So anyways, the plan for that is eventually we would have a kid and then maybe like 4 years old ish, actually make the transition over here and maybe do a couple years. But I still don't know that I would ever spend the rest of my life here just because I do find it really convenient living in America. That's also where my family is. So I'm kind of still in this torn spot, but just coming over here for 3 weeks for the first time in 5 years. Like, this is the first time I've been to Japan really since even starting immersion learning. So that's it's one of those things where I'm still not sure if I want to make it like having two home bases or actually, picking one and marrying it forever. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the internal struggle. I still don't know, but that's probably the trajectory right now. Is the next couple of years, come over here for a year or two, create the next, otaku no meisaku, like make something fantastic that's otaku, and then or at least make some connections and stuff with people, which I've managed to do in English, and now the next step is the real otaku, not you fake gaijin. All right, so yeah, that's kind of what I see the future playing. What do you got for us, Mountain?
Yeah, that's really difficult. It leads into what we were speaking about previously, but I think Japan and its role in the future for me, I definitely see myself staying here more long term. The job I have is like, the lowest of lowest paid jobs you can think of. So basically just trying to improve my Japanese enough to, go into a better paid job and then just seeing how everything plans out. I feel like I don't really have a concrete plan as to how things are going to play out from then on, but just living and then taking in any opportunities that come my way as things go. I think that's the best opportunity for me. So, for example, I did start up an Instagram page probably the year before last year, and that popped off. So I still want to create content, speak to people, connect with people, learn more about the culture, the community, and kind of spread, my positivity and my, understandings further. So I want to see how that goes as a couple of years go by.
And where can people find you, Mally?
So you can find me on Instagram. I'm just MobileMally on Instagram. I'm on TikTok as well, barely upload there, MobileMally, and YouTube, MobileMally. So all MobileMally as well as Twitter. Do people still quit Twitter or do they quit X?
I still call it Twitter. Sorry, Elon.
So yeah, feel free to follow my journey. I'm very transparent about it, especially on Instagram, as I feel like my journey is a lot slower compared to a lot of other people in the immersion community. So if anybody is taking a bit more time to learn, just know that as long as you don't give up, you're going to get to the goal. If you give up, you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Yeah, that's kind of been the theme of the podcast, quite honestly. So yeah, absolutely. Minus when I interview speedrunners like Jazzy and Doth, but yeah, contrast that, right, with the Decky Nice, like myself and Lucid. Tiger, what you got for us?
So my visa right now is until 2027. So I'll at least be here until that ends. And then right now, well, I just recently moved in with my girlfriend. Yay, woo. Hopefully that doesn't end. If we hit 2027 and things aren't exploding in my life, I'm trying to switch jobs within the next year as well. So as long as things like work out how I'd like them to, probably stay here past 2027. But I don't know. I'm just kind of seeing what happens and playing with it as it goes. I don't really want to go back, but like if I have to, then I'll go back. It's kind of how it's going. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It's fun.
For me, I'm probably gonna be here for the long term.
Right.
Just out of
Basically,
here.
my whole adult life has been here and professional life and everything. So maybe like a couple of years here and there abroad somewhere. I don't know, maybe for work or something. But probably here until I'm dead.
Yep.
Unless something drastic happens to Japan and I can't live anymore. But
Yeah. Japan for me, I think I'll say for at least 5 years, but actually at most maybe 8 or 10. Because I'll build a career. Hopefully, when I get married, my to-be wife will come here, but we won't be staying long term. And I don't think I'll also apply for a PR or similarly. I'll be coming back. So yeah, I'll enjoy it while I'm here.
Nice.
Just what KanjiEater said, just move here eventually at some point at, who knows, a year, a couple months. We'll see. But
Winging it.
yeah.
For myself, I'm not quite decided yet. I like everything about my current situation. The job is good, so I'll probably stay here for at least a little longer. The long term family's back in the States. Girlfriend is currently in the States, so we'll see how the cards get played. But I do definitely like it here, so I doubt that I would like completely disconnect from Japan or anything
Right.
like that. I would at least be coming back, regularly for something or another.
It's an insanely hard question, I think. For me, if I get laid off or something, probably I'll come over. If not, I don't know, maybe 5, 10 years I'll consider it again, but you never really know.
All right. So I think that's everybody on that one. So Simple Surfer from the Discord server asks, "What's your favorite food?"
Food.
So food. It's specifically Japanese food. Sorry.
Right.
Japanese food. Let's keep it on brand, guys. So yeah, favorite Japanese food. Mal, you got anything for us?
Favorite Japanese food, definitely yakitori or yakiniku. I love meat, and the way they do it here is really nice. Lots of different types of meat, lots of different parts. I haven't really tried heart before, but but yeah, I really like it. It's really tasty. The only problem is that it's quite expensive, so you can't have it all the time. But every now and then, all you can eat for 2 hours, you can't really go wrong with that.
I'm the palate of a 6-year-old, so same with me. Yakiniku, yakitori, have karaage basically every day of my life. That's the standard.
Jeez.
Okay, for me, I guess it's curry, Japanese curry.
Yeah.
Just very nice.
It's the bomb.
Not too complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone likes it.
I'm a bit more refined, so
I'm sorry.
it's unagi. I like
Oh,
Okay.
That is fairly refined.
Yeah, because back home, our unagi is just bad. We have like the
Mm.
worst eels. And so like you can have the meme where like, Mom, can we have unagi? And like unagi at home. But yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I like unagi too, but I'm gonna go with sushi, specifically tuna. And I could eat a whole plate.
I just did. That's my.
Yeah.
You took mine. You took mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
well,
okay. No.
We are married for a reason.
Yeah, I'm learning new stuff here tonight, quite honestly.
I thought your answer was going to be kanji.
Oh,
Damn.
I should have said
Miss the opportunity. Got it.
So for me, I'm a big yakiniku fan, but to add something new to the mix, I like tonkotsu ramen a lot.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I'm not changing the pattern, going with sushi.
There you go.
Nothing better.
All
Sorry.
right.
It's
Yeah.
a good one. Classic. What it's known for.
Yeah. I was surprised that when we went to a sushi place before this that we had so many people that were like, "Oh, I don't know about seafood, KanjiEater." Guys, you're in Japan. Come on. Nah, it's good. Okay, so next we have a question from Ham Sam on the Discord as well. So this one's specific to Doth. So I remember the OG Doth interview, a classic,
Yeah.
where he mentioned that was my addition there, a classic, where he mentioned rizzing up Obasan. I don't think at that point the term rizzing had been invented yet, Doth. Rizzing up Obasan. Is he still running that game, or has he finally embraced the gruesome path of a salaryman?
Okay, I am a salary man. It is pretty gruesome, but I do keep in touch with some of the Basan.
Really?
Yeah, because I went back to Sendai and actually met up with a few of them.
Nice.
A few. Okay.
I got a list. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, they give me all the free stuff. I love it. But anyways, yeah. Still keeping in touch. I mean, I'll maybe invite some of them to my wedding. We'll see.
Oh.
But is that how you're still like practicing your Japanese as well, or?
I know it's not actually. I mean, it's for the relations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The relation.
It was a good. It was a good stepping stone while it lasted.
They were just stepping stones. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Damn.
Oh, okay. So then another one, and this one goes to Darius. So basically, the question, it has some misinformation and we talked about this before, that you were one of the OGs from the MIA era. You predate that. And
Let's keep it accurate.
yeah, let's keep it accurate. These days, you've turned into somewhat of a wise sage, and that's in single quotes for some reason. So, a wise sage. Curious to know what changed since then, And what have you been up to in your personal life update, which I think you already covered, but how did this come to be where you became a legend, Darius?
Uh, skill.
Skill.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's basically being not a speedrunner. It's about like running it as a marathon.
Yeah.
Because there's like been a huge number of people in the community that, make a lot of progress in a short amount of time, and it's very impressive. But then they like disappear and like go do something else, which is totally fine as like a way to live your life. But for myself, I've just always been interested in the Japanese language and doing things in Japan, and just continuously put effort into it over time. And you get pretty good in like a lot of different domains that are related when you do it that way. And yeah, I've been in a part of a bunch of different communities as well. So I guess that's why I have that image. Of course, it's not a completely accurate image. I remember we outputted it a bit on my interview, and like a couple people I know on Discord who had never heard me output before were like, well, yeah, he was good, but I'm expecting him to be like God. And I'm like, why were you expecting that? Like, never have I claimed anywhere to be like insanely good. I'm just like reasonably good at the language in like most domains, and I can like do my job in Japanese. And like, this is what you can expect if you put like consistent effort over time. It's not like I'm like one of the best of like all time or like native level completely or whatever, right? So I think sometimes that image isn't completely right. But yeah, so yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, at some point, I've been doing this long enough that people have started to think I'm good, and I can reassure you that I'm not still. So yeah, if you just do this long enough, you get some hype behind you, and yeah, just kind of ride the train. Yeah. So, okay. So another question around just basically coming to Japan. We've all come to Japan through various means. A couple people had questions on what's the best way to actually get over here. So I'd be curious if we could go around and if everybody's comfortable, talk about like what your path to actually get over here is briefly, what sort of visa specifically that you went and what it took to actually get that. So is that something you can talk to us about, Molly?
Yeah, definitely. So how I got to Japan is that I'm from the UK, one of the countries that Japan has a working holiday agreement with. At the time, I was able to take that. As long as you have enough savings in your bank account, you can come to Japan with a decent plan of how you're going to make, do your stay in Japan. With the working holiday visa, it's relatively free. You can work, you can study, you can travel, you can do everything. But as long as working is not your primary activity when you're in Japan, then that's what they expect. Of course, when you're in Japan, they don't really track what you're doing, so you could technically work the whole time if you wanted to. But the whole point is to get as many foreign people into the country, enjoy the country, get that working holiday vibe, and then go back to their country. With the UK, they increased it recently from December from a 1 year agreement to a 2 year agreement, where you can do either, consecutively, or the easiest ways to get over there if you don't want to be an English teacher.
As far as like having to write out a plan to get over here, like what does that entail?
It just entails a very loose kind of description of the activities, what you're going to do month by month. You can either make this up or you can make it relatively accurate as to what you're doing. So, for example, what I did, what I actually did during my work holiday visa, I went to language school for like 2 months, and then I traveled the whole country for 1 month. Then after that, I tried to look for jobs. It took longer than expected, 2 or 3 months, and then I had the rest of my stay working in my part-time job or just enjoying life.
Thanks for sharing that. Well, how about you, Tiger?
So at the end of 2023, from August to November, I came here on a unpaid internship for a company that does things to help like Japanese people want to study abroad in America. So I was their receptionist, so I got to be here for 3 months doing that. And then towards the end of that stay, during like the final week, I had an interview with like a foreigner dispatch company where they hire every foreigner. Basically, you want to come here and then go do some IT jobs and stuff. Got an interview, got a job offer from that, and then got an engineering visa from that, and came here at February of 2024.
So for me, I graduated from university and then came here for like 1 month to interview around. I ended up with like 4 offers after 1 month, then moved here on a engineering, humanities, international services visa. And then at some point I switched to the highly skilled one. then eventual PR.
So you actually climbed up stages there.
It's a
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
But actually, like the highly skilled one is not really worth it. It's like way more hassle than
Why do you say that?
because it's attached to your job. So a
Okay.
normal visa, you can just switch jobs. You don't have to do anything with your visa, as long as it's in like the same category.
Mhm.
With the highly skilled one, it's attached to the exact company that you're working for.
Mhm.
So if you switch jobs, you need to reapply for your visa.
Ooh.
Or if your company decides to split up the company into two different entities, you also have to renew your visa, which happened to me during my PR application, which was very annoying.
Oh.
So I kind of regret doing that, but
Okay.
there's some other like advantages that attach to that as well.
Cool.
I was on a student visa, so I think the easiest way is a government sponsored program. So there's the MEX, if you guys know Mobukagakusho. They have a program for in Japanese, also for top universities, so including like Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka University. They have normally English programs, so you can also apply there. Ace the exams, normally they will help sponsor you to get the MEX scholarship too, and then the visa is kind of just a follow-up. So just aim for a top university, ace the exams.
Easy. You probably got the easiest one.
Yeah, I'll just say it. Spouse visa. So he got his visa, and I was able to,
There
get
you
on
go.
that. And so spouse visa. There you go, marry
You get the
somebody.
dependent one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then visa, and then yeah. So I'll just also say on that. So I had, I think, the highly skilled engineering one, and it was basically a 1 year visa, I believe. And then my company limited it to 6 months because they don't want to pay taxes, which they would have to like 6 months in one day. So that's how I got it. I don't know that I would really say it was particularly easy. Like I didn't have to do a lot because I was already at an American company that sponsored it. And then they sponsored it through the Japanese sister company. And then that still took 9 months just to do that, even with having, like, I work for a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company, and they had a dedicated team to helping people transition with this. So it was really easy for me. Like, I didn't have to do anything, but it still took 9 months for them to actually get through all the paperwork for it and whatnot. And whether that was people dragging their feet, the Japanese system that was wrapped around it, or what, I don't know, but it took forever. So yeah, that was the process for me and therefore for Mrs. K. How about you, Darius?
So what I did is only applicable to people who have been working in tech for a long time, which is probably not most people, though maybe a surprising number of people when you intersect it with people studying Japanese. So
This room, yeah, half this room.
So yeah, I had been working in America for quite a long time in the tech industry, around like 10 plus years, and I just looked for a bunch of jobs in Japan, applied to a bunch of places, got some offers, picked the best one. It was a large company that is able to sponsor visas and is used to bringing in foreigners. So yeah, it was just an engineering visa for me. So it was pretty easy.
Yeah, likewise there for the job offer I had here. I have like, I don't know, 10, 11 years in game dev experience now. And apply someplace, have some connections. I actually know some people working at some of the companies. And if you got the experience and you work in tech, it's probably not going to be that hard.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like I could definitely move over here anytime I wanted, given the yeah, just having strong boundary in tech, and then if you actually do have some fundamentals in Japanese, obviously that goes a long way. They'll definitely have you over here. So okay. Next question. This one comes from well, I think this was originally in the Moe Discord server, but it looks like we've got it again here in chat. AMLCNGL. I usually say awesome username or something that's a terrible username. Change it immediately. I can't pronounce it. There's a lot of discussion about reading, but what about listening? Can you guys share how you progressed in terms of raw listening, free flow, or always turning on subtitles to see what you missed? So this also came up in my Discord server recently, the Deep Weeb Lounge. This idea of, should you be pausing a whole bunch if you're trying to pick up every word, because obviously comprehensible input is how you get better, or should you just be kind of free flowing it naturally, just let it wash over you while still like trying to focus on it, but not necessarily stopping every 5 seconds. So I've heard we all have probably different experiences with immersing to some extent. So if we want to kind of go around and talk to your personal experience with listening, what has that process been like for you trying to get better at your listening ability?
Yeah, so for me, it's just to go to raw, free form, just listening to anime until your head hurts. And then do that a little bit each day. And then as you build a tolerance, just like make that longer and longer. So I first started with 15 minutes, then I upgraded to 30 minutes once I got comfortable with 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, a couple of hours, and then I keep going from there. And I think when it comes to listening, my experience is very interesting because once you do that and then you go on how to talk, speak to a bunch of people, your listening ability is already okay. So once you move here, it's okay. But then you start to realize there's lots of other aspects about listening that you can't just get in a closed environment. And those aspects is dealing with situations which are environmental. So let's just say someone's using a mask, getting used to how they speak using a mask. If you're hearing radio announcements, getting used to the radio announcements with muffled Japanese, right? If at work we use two radios, right? And then sometimes the quality is not good, it cuts out, right? So you have to be able to predict what the other person is saying and then act based on that. So being good in different situations, through that experience, you're able to improve and understand more. So variety of experience, that's my advice.
I basically listen to everything with Japanese subtitles. I didn't do any like raw listening until I didn't know Obasan Arc as well for a year and a half, 2 years ish. I had a friend and we talked. She would only speak Japanese. I didn't speak Japanese during that time. She knew a little bit of English, so I just got her English levels up because I was too scared to speak Japanese. So that was the only like non-subtitled Japanese experience I had until like 2023. And then now it's basically just like real life conversations. If there's subtitles available, I use them. If not, then I don't use them. But
There's subtitles available in real life.
I wish.
We're getting there, Darius. Your technology is coming along.
If there's subtitles like on the line or anything, I'll use it. But in real life, I just kind of just like I can understand everything down to the point where if I don't understand, I know what I didn't understand. And I can ask. But yeah, a lot of my listening has been subtitled only.
So for me, I first got like my reading to a very high level, then switched to watching anime with Japanese subtitles, and then turned off the subtitles. And anime is in general quite slow, so I started to slowly speed up anime like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.5, and I got really used to like the fast flow of Japanese, and by that point, like a lot of other things got really easy. So even now I can do like audiobooks at 1.5, 1.6, even some of them are like at 2 times speed. So you just kind of get used to the very fast language. And after that, it's mostly getting used to muffled sounds and just noise in general.
Yeah. Oh, we've got somebody. We are recording.
15 minutes left.
Okay. Sounds good. So we actually on that note, so recently formerly the Japan code, PatChat has also been like playing around with the tech that I made, which was the subplease stuff with where you can read with the audiobook. And he was saying that he was basically able to, like, if you have the audiobook going while reading it, you can use that kind of to set the pace for it. It's still reading, but that idea of just like being able to speed up your listening comprehension by like bumping up the speed. I also have been trying that with that method, and it's been kind of fun just to actually get the speed up. But then like Tiger said as well, if like you don't have the subtitles available, like just being able to build up that speed is that's still what I want to get to a point at, because I can do that in my native language. Like, right, I would never watch a YouTube video at 1x speed personally. Like I just wouldn't. In fact, I have like extensions to make it go at like 3x speed so I can just get through it like as fast as possible. She gets annoyed by it because I don't know.
I can handle 1.75. That's it.
1.75.
2 is too much. 2 is too much.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Exactly. So like that idea of being able to speed up the pace is something that I look forward to getting to with Japanese as well. And I've seen you post about that, and I'm always jealous when you tell me how fast you're listening through stuff. And like, I'll get
also,
there.
Like, once your listening gets very good, it's a lot easier to do listening for longer stretches of time than reading. Because when reading, your eyes get tired.
Right. That's a good point. How about you, Doth? What's the listening techniques here? Free flow.
I had a mix of everything. still, I think the ends and just speaking to people best way.
Fair enough.
Just make a quick anime, and I understand probably like 50%. I don't know. I ask him, and so for some things that I need more help with, and he'll explain it and be like, okay, yeah, I got that, and then just like listening to like we hung out with some Japanese people since we came, and I was able to pick up a lot. So just as a casual learner, you can pick up a lot. So
Yeah, I would describe your learning method as AJAT through proxy because like she's like because I'm in it, like she gets exposed to a lot of it and then she'll like, watch a bunch of stuff with me. But usually it's like I'm kind of setting the pace, which isn't really great as a learner, probably, like to try to keep up with somebody else. But she still like stomachs it and
well, I
watches
mean,
all the
we
stuff with
watch
us. And
like good anime, so it's not
That's-
hard, to
That's
like
true. We
keep
watch-
interest.
like
in
she
it.
said, we watch the good anime.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So what about you, Darius? What are the secret listening techniques here? Free flow, you just let it wash over you, or subtitles? Like what?
So I could talk on this for a long time. And
Oh no.
recommend just watching the interview we
Mhm.
did. Though to I guess add something onto that, the thing that matters is understanding why your listening isn't good. Because I assume if you're asking this question, you have some problem with it, and there's like a lot of things that can contribute to that. I think one of the biggest ones is simply not knowing the words that you're trying to listen for. Because like was mentioned earlier by Molly and others, like there's a lot of cases where listening is actually not just the act of interpreting sounds, but also like guessing what people are trying to say in like a low signal environment. And in order to be able to do that well, you need to like already know what they might say. So this might mean that you at least need the word in your passive vocabulary. It may mean you even need the word in your active vocabulary in order to be able to like guess it like that in a given situation. So sometimes I find that the bottleneck is actually just vocab. You just don't know the words well enough to be able to guess them. But if your background is, oh, I read like hundreds of light novels already and I just have an issue with listening, then I think that's a different story. And I think there's a lot of different ways you can go about it, either with subs or without subs. Either is fine. I think it just matters that you listen to a lot of stuff in a lot of different contexts, so you can associate the right sound shapes with the vocab you already have.
My recommendation to add a little something to the topic is to try and put yourself in the higher pressure situations, ideally with like real people. I would recommend like playing games like League, Valorant, whatever it is that you enjoy with some Japanese friends. In that higher pressure, there's just something about it that like makes you care a little more. It's either that or get a Japanese girlfriend or both.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Nice, very nice. So, yeah, I would probably echo a lot of things people have already said. Personally, listening just hasn't been as big of a focus as reading for me. I think I calculated the hours where I have like 2 or 3x reading hours compared to listening. But at this point, it's like, well, that's kind of the thing that's holding me back. So I should really be focusing on that. So probably this year, I'll just be doubling down on that. I mean, it's not a serious issue. Like I already have like I've made multiple friends in Japanese that I talk to on a weekly basis now in Japanese. But at this point, it's like, well, I still want to be able to understand everything to a higher degree. So at this point, I do use subs whenever they're available. If they're not available, it's not usually that big of a deal, and I'll just watch it anyways. So it's more of a convenience thing. And at some point, yeah, I mean, I don't use subtitles in my own native language unless it's at like 3x speed, and then I probably will. So I don't know that I ever see subs disappearing for me entirely. And there's just going to be situations where they won't be, and I'll have to be able to adapt to those. That's kind of where I'm at with that. So last question for everybody. Looking forward to the next year. What do you guys see? What are some goals that you have, whether it's in Japanese or just in life in general, for the coming year of the snake here, 2025?
Yeah, of the snake. That's a good question. So just keep doing what I've been doing previously and then just stay consistent. Improve my Japanese. Try my best to read more. I hate reading. So I'm gonna try my best to
Reading?
read more. I know I'm the opposite of you guys.
Hime, that's the solution to your problem, my friend.
I'll keep that in mind.
I will finish Tsukihime 100%, I promise. And then read at least 400 volumes of manga, hit 388 last year, and then do Anki every single day. I'm getting back on the Anki train. It's happening.
They always come back.
That's me.
I don't really have goals for this year, but maybe I want to try to stay consistent with my other languages. So maybe
Not otaku.
not otaku now. I honestly don't really study Japanese anymore at this point. I just like
He
live
just
my
knows
life.
it, lives it.
Just lives it.
Yeah, he just lives it.
Yeah. I mean, I
And
speak
the
Japanese
baby-
at home every day, so it's like
Right.
it's not a choice anymore. It's like it's just there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no goals, just living life in Japanese or living life. Yeah.
Read more manga, Japanese.
How many? How many are we committing to this
I need
year?
yeah, so read more manga, but also track it so that I'm back in the manga club. That's it.
All right. You can bully her into reading Lucid. You have my
I've done
permission.
this before. I'll do it
Yeah,
again.
he's made others read. What you got, Darius?
Get jacked.
Get jacked. Okay.
Oh.
Gym rat arc.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know, but maybe probably finish Fate,
Okay.
finish Tsukihime,
All right.
and I don't know how far I'm going to get in One Piece, but I'm set on up to 65. Got like, I don't know, 30 more to go, something like that. Probably read like another 50 manga at least, but yeah, this year mostly reading because I've been like heavy listening as well over here.
So you committed to the One Piece challenge for the manga club. Are you going to take the next half of that and actually get completely caught up?
You
It
should.
depends how good
You should, though.
it stays
Pretty good
when I
now.
get up there.
Okay.
I feel like the more I read, though, the more I want to change and do other things. I'm like the
I
kind of person,
understand.
I never finish anything.
Mhm.
I try everything.
Tiger syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm
Psych-
way worse than you, man. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so I already kind of hinted at it. My goal is again try to max out listening as much as possible. I'm also trying to just like I don't want to stop reading though, so it's probably going to be like do like one audiobook, one VN, one game like every quarter ish, and that way I can still like not have my backlog just not moving down at all, right? Because I really hate that. Like, that's kind of happened with novels to some extent. So it's like get through at least a couple things, but then just whole bunch of listening because I haven't really done that. I haven't had a listening arc, if you will. So do that and then see what comes. And that's the same with the podcast. So I'll probably try to do another 4 episodes this year. I did that last year. So probably do a couple more of those and go from there. So anyways, guys, that's been 1 hour at Lost. As you guys probably saw, they're trying to kick us out now.
Yeah.
They were very friendly until that. No, they've been great. So again, thank you to all the guests that we had here today. Thank you to everybody in the audience. Please do like, subscribe, give it a share, and we'll see you guys at the next one. Thanks, everybody.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah.